Let me turn it down. Go ahead. Jaira Damadabo Kunjabi Arijaya Jaira Damadabo Kunjabi Arijaya Vijana Balaba Grivaradari Jaya Gopijana Balaba Grivaradari Jaya Yasodanandana Prajajana Ranjana Yasodanandana Prajajana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunjabiyari Jaya Jaya Radha Madhava Kunjabiyari Jaya Gopijana Balaba Grivaradari Jaya Gopijana Balaba Grivaradari Jaya Yasodanandana Bhajajana Ranjana Yasodanandana Bhajajana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunjabiyari Jaya Jaya Radha Madhava Kunjabiyari Jaya Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Jaya Krishna Balaram, Jaya Krishna Balaram, Jaya Krishna Balaram, Jaya Krishna Balaram. Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada. Nitago Haribo, 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 Nitago Haribo. Nitai go Haribo, 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 Nitai go Haribo. Dhārayāmy Paramātmā Parivrakacharya Sutra Sutta Sishima A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada ki Dhārayāmy Paramātmā Parivrakacharya Sutra Sutta Sishima Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada ki Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki ISKCON founder Acharya Prabhupada ki Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur ki प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैता गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद की श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरि गोवर्धन की वृंदावन धाम की मायापुर धाम की द्वारका धाम की जगन्नाथपुरी धाम की गंगा माई की यमुना माई की तुलसी देवी की भक्ति देवी की कृष्ण निताय गौरचंद्र की Srila Prabhupada ki, Samaveta Bhakta Vrinda ki, all glory to the Assembled devotees, all glory to the Assembled devotees, all glories to the Assembled devotees, all glories to the lotus feet of Sri Sri Guru Gauranga. Who is that phantom? So many of these flies. So many flies are there. Is it that fun? Can drive them around. Gurave Gurachandaya Radhikaya Tadalaye Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Bhaktaya Namo Namo Akyana Trimanandasya Gana Gana Salakaya Chaksusul Umitan Yena Tasma Shri Gurave Namo Sri Chaitanya Mano Bhishta Stapita Yena Bhūtāni Sayarupa Gadāmayam Dadati Swampadantikam Vandeyam Sri Guru Shivtam Parakamalam Sri Guru Vaishnavascha Sri Rupam Sagayatam Sahagana Raghunatha Vitantam Sajivan Sadvaitam Sabadutam Parijanam Saitam Sri Krishna Chaitanya Devan Sri Radha Krishna Padasahagana Lalita Sri Visakhavitamsya He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagapate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tabda Kanchana Gaurange Radha Vrindavaneshwari Vishabhan Sute Devi Pranamami Haripriya Panchakapataruvyascha Kripa Sindhibhya Evacha Patitanam pavanabhebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namah. Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishna Ya Krishna Chaitanya Namane Gauratase Namah. Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhaktarvrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Ananda Dilamaya Vigrayo Imabada Vichavesundarayo Tasma Maha Prem Rasapadayo Chitachandaya Namanamastute. So I thank everyone for being here this evening for our nightly Bhagavad Gita class, and also those who are watching from Vrindavan TV. So the chapter is the chapter 15 of the Gita, the Purushottama Yoga, the yoga of the Supreme Person. So Lord Sri Krishna is speaking to his dear devotee, Arjuna, giving Arjuna the supreme science, the science of the self, the science of the soul, and ultimately the path, or how to get out of this material world. So Lord Krishna was speaking to Arjuna on the battlefield of Kurukshetra, on the battlefield. But the battlefield of Kurukshetra, that's what we're in. Kurukshetra, Kshetra means the field, the activities. That's the literary meaning of Kurukshetra. So this material world is a field of activities, and every living entity is under the bondage of material energy. And because of that, they have to undergo Jama, Mrityu, Jara, Vyadi, both death, old age, and disease. And there is a samsara, it's a repetition that goes on. Is this clear enough? Aribo, is this clear? Is the voice clear? It's like too much bass. The fan? Okay. You can hear me? You can hear? All right. Okay. So today we are chapter 15, text number 12. Okay. So you can repeat after me. Yad aditya katam tejo Jagad vasayatya kilam Ya chandramasi ya chagno Ta tejo vidimamakam Yadaditya katam tejo Jagad vasayatya kilam Ya chandramasi ya chagno Tatejo vidimamakam. Somebody can chant. Ya chandramasi ya chagno Tatejo vidimamakam. Ladies, yet that which Aditya Gatam in the sunshine, Teja, splendor, Jagat, the whole world, Vasayate, illuminates, Akilam, entirely, yet that which Chandramasi in the moon, yet that which Cha also Agno in fire, Tat that Teja splendor. Vidi understand Mahamakam from me. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada Ki. The splendor of the sun, which dissipates the darkness of this whole world, comes from me, and the splendor of the moon and the splendor of fire are also from me. Purport. The unintelligent cannot understand how things are taking place, but one can begin to be established in knowledge by understanding what the Lord explains here. Everyone sees the sun, moon, fire, and electricity. One should simply try to understand that the splendor of the sun, the splendor of the moon, and the splendor of electricity or fire are coming from the Supreme Personality of Godhead. In such a conception of life, the beginning of Krishna consciousness lies a great deal of advancement for the conditioned soul in this material world. The living entities are essentially the parts and parcels of the Supreme Lord, and He is given herewith the hint how they can come back to Godhead, back to home. It's too much echo. From this verse, we can understand that the sun is illuminating the whole solar system. There are different universes and solar systems, and there are different suns, moons, and planets also. But in each universe, there's only one sun. As stated in Bhagavad Gita, the moon is one of the stars, Nakshatranam aham sashi. Sunlight is due to the spiritual effulgence in the spiritual sky of the Supreme Lord. With the rise of the sun, the activities of human beings are set up. They set fire to prepare their foodstuff. They set fire to start the factories, etc. So many things are done with the help of fire. Therefore, sunrise, fire, and moonlight are also pleasing to the living entities. Without their help, no living entity can live. So, if one can understand that the light and splendor of the sun moon, and fire are emanating from the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, then once Krishna consciousness will begin. By the moonshine, all the vegetables are nourished. The moonshine is so pleasing that people can easily understand that they are living by the mercy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna. Without His mercy, there cannot be sun. Without His mercy, there cannot be moon. And without His mercy, there cannot be fire. And without the help of sun, moon, and fire, no one can live. These are some thoughts. These are some thoughts to provoke Krishna consciousness in the conditioned soul. So this is a very wonderful commentary, wonderful purport by Srila Prabhupada, whereby it's explained that the living entities who are in this world, and they basically have to struggle with existence, with materialistic existence, but still all the provisions of life, all the provisions are given by the Lord only. But the people, the living entities in this world, they are so ignorant of this. They don't know that the source of everything is the Supreme Lord Krishna. He is the source of everything. But these people don't know. So the Lord is saying, what was that? Aditya Gatam Tejo, he said, the sun, the splendor of the sun comes from me. Just like every day, the sun is rising every day. The sun is rising, but the sun is there by whose influence is the sun rising? It's by the influence of the Lord. It's by the Lord, it's through His influence. And without the sun, we cannot sustain our lives. Because from the sun come the fire, from that come the electricity. Just like we can see here, the electric in this room here. This is how does electricity come? This is all through the transmission of the sun. And who's behind the sun? The personality behind the sun planet is Lord Krishna. The living entities, they want to enjoy themselves. They want to have unlimited sense gratification. But in order to have all these things, there must be the sun, there must be fire, there must be electricity, and then the moon must be there. Because the moon, through the moonshine, the vegetables grow through the moonshine. And throughout this whole chapter, Lord Krishna is explaining, he's explaining how by the he said the moon is there and the sun is there. So the Lord is actually explaining that both the sun and the moon, they are both His eyes. Just like in the Brahma-saṁhitā, Lord Brahma says, Yas Chaksu is Sakala Grahana, Raja Samasta Suramoti Asesa Teja. That through the sun, the shining of the sun, Samasta reaching by the splendor, by the energy of the sun, everything is being maintained. Everything is being provided for in the material world. But the person behind the sun is Krishna. Brahmati's son was Brahmati's son. Anyway, the last line is Govindam Adi Purusham Tamham Bhajami. The sun is going on his orbit, on his circle, is wheeling. The sun is rolling on his circle because all the planets, they all go by the orbit on the axis that goes around every planet. The sun is rotating, the earth planet is rotating, all the planets, they are rotating on the wheel. But what makes all this rotation possible is the Supreme Lord Krishna. So therefore Lord Brahma said, Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami. That Govinda, who is the original person, Adipurusha is the original person, to that Govinda I worship. Tam aham Bhajami. And also in the first verse of the Brahma-saṁhitā, chapter 5, it says, Isvara Paramakrishna, Sachidananda Vigraha, Anadi Adi Govindam Swava Karanam, that of all the controllers, so many controllers are there, but of all the controllers, Krishna is the supreme controller. Isvara Parama Krishna. And then he mentioned his quality. What is quality? Sachit Ananda. Is eternal, is Sat, Chit, full of knowledge, and blissful. Vigraha, his form. His form is that of eternal, blissful, and knowledge. So he's the Supreme Brahman. And that Isvara, who is Saba, was Anadi Adi Govindam, Saba Karanam, Anadi Adi Govindam. He has no beginning, but he is the beginning of everything. And he is the cause of all causes. He is the cause of all causes. So Lord Brahma also said, Adyam Purana Purusham Navayovanam Cha Govindam Adi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. He's the origin of everything, and he's the oldest person. Adyam Purusham. Puranam means the original person, the oldest person. But even though he's the oldest person, it doesn't mean that he's having big long beard. Just like when the people want to describe God, they say God is the one who is the Supreme Father, and is the one who judges everyone's misdeeds. Like the way you live your life, if either sinful or pious, the Lord is there who is going to judge you. And he's very, very old person, and he's sitting on a big chair, big throne, very big person he has a long flowing beard, flowing white beard. And the moment you come to him, once you die, you go to him, and he's going to judge you that, okay, you have done this. If it's good, you go to heaven, and if it's good, you go to hell. It's just they are sitting, that's all he's doing all day long, just judging everyone. Okay, you go to heaven, you go to hell. You know, this is the conception of the materialistic religion. But Brahma-saṁhitā said, Nava Yovanam Cha, Krishna is never old. Yes, he's the oldest person, but it's never Yovanam. It's youthful. It's eternally youthful. Eternally youthful. Krishna has four ages: Keshara, Balya. No. It starts with Balya, Keshara, Balya, Puganda, Keshara, and Yovanam. So from childhood all the way to the fifth, from the 0 all the way to the 5th age is called Balya. Balya means the childhood. And then there is the Puganda, which is the age between 5 to 9, Puganda age. Just like when Krishna lifted the Govardhan hill, that was Puganda age. When he killed so many demons, Agasura, so many demons, this is all during Puganda age. And then his youthful age is actually begins from Kaishara. There's the Sanskrit called Bhaya Sandhi, the conjunction of Puganda and Kaishara. This is called Bhaya Sandhi. This is a time whereby Krishna started his loving pastimes with the gopis of Vrindavan. His loving pastimes, whereby Krishna will play his flute. He will play flute, and then this flute will attract all the ladies of Vrindavan. Now, even though Krishna may be described, you have these different ages, Balya age, Pungada age, Kashura age, or Yobana, but actually each of these forms, they are all eternal forms. They are all eternal because the Lord has so many devotees, and every devotees, they all relish each one of these age of Krishna. They all relish it. For example, Mother Yashoda, Krishna's is Balya Puganda age, his youth is childhood age. To Mother Yashoda, Krishna is always child. It's always Lala, his darling. It's always that age. To Mother Yashoda, Krishna never grows more than that age. Krishna never grows more than that age. Just like we have this sect of Balabhacharya who worship Balgopa Krishna, Balgopa. Because that form is eternal form, and that's they have their, this is called they are called puṣṇāmi Sampradaya. So they worship Bal Krishna, Balgopa. So therefore, just like here in Vrindavan, you will find that Ladu Gopa is very famous. Ladu Gopa is very famous. Krishna is always after Ladu. After take Ladu from his mother, from what they call her, all the ladies, all the gopis, the elderly gopis, when they will call Krishna that, hey Krishna, we're going to sing and you have to dance. So the elderly gopis, they be singing, clapping their hand, and then they will tell Krishna that if you dance, we're going to give you Ladu. We will give you Ladu if you dance. So therefore they be singing, they be clapping their hand, and then Krishna will be dancing so that he can get Ladu. So Ladu Gopa is very, very famous, and that's why the puṣṇāmi, they are very attached to this form. And that form is eternal form. Krishna is always in that form only, eternally. But of course, we Gaudiyas, the followers of Chaitanya Prabhu, we are much more inclined towards Radha Krishna Conjuga. We are much more inclined towards Radha Krishna. So, and that's what Chaitanya Prabhu, that's what he has given us. So Krishna is called Navayogana. Navayogana is eternally youthful. It's always that, which means it never ages past more than 16 years old. His age is never past 16. When Krishna was on the battlefield of Kurukshetra, and he was speaking the Bhagavad Gita to Arjuna. So that time, The age of Krishna at that time was said to be 125 years old when he was speaking Bhagavad Gita to Arjuna on the battle of Kurukshetra. So normally, a 125-year-old person, that's very, very old, you know. But why, even though he was 125 years old in that that incarnation, while on the battle of Kurukshetra, still he was very, very young. He still looked like a 16-year-old, you know. So, which means you will never see the form of Krishna as an old man. You will never see his form as an old person. You always see his form as very, very young. So therefore, Lord Brahma said, Adhyam Purusham Purana Nava Yovanam. He said that is the origin of everything, is the origin, is the oldest person, but at the same time is eternally youthful. So, but the same Lord, he's talking here to Arjuna. He said, whatever you may see, this comes from me. The splendor of the sun, the splendor of the moon, the splendor of fire is coming from me only. Mama Teja said that, Mama Teja, Ta Teja Vidi Mahamakam. You should know that all these things are mine. So which means nothing exists outside of the Lord. Everything is all based on Him. Lord Krishna said, Ya Vibhutiman Satwan Shema Bhujitan Ebabat. Was that then Saya Paramātmā. Anyway, it said Mama Tejas answer Sambhava. Say that, so because Krishna was describing his vibhutis, his opulence to Arjuna. He's describing his opulence to Arjuna. He said that, among the rivers, I'm the Ganges, I'm the ocean, among the mountains, I'm the Himalaya. The Lord's telling Arjuna, any great thing we can think of this world, that is He. He's lion, He's, when you read the Vibhuti Yoga in the 10th chapter, where Krishna is describing all his various opulences to Arjuna. But what did he say? He said, Vibhutiman Satwa Sima Ujita Eba. Said that, but my dear Arjuna, know that all these descriptions which I've described to you, all these various opulences of mine, these are simply a spark of my splendor. These are simply a spark of my splendor. So which means with only a tiny portion of his energy, this whole material world is manifested just with only a tiny portion of his energy. This whole world is manifested. Just a tiny portion. The sun is rising out of fear of him. The wind is blowing out of fear of him. The moon is shining out of fear of him. Fear of who? Fear of Krishna. So there was one time, one yaksha who happened to be in the form of the Lord. So the demigods, they were among themselves, Suryadev, Agni, Indradev, so many of them, they were there and they were trying to prove themselves of how powerful they are. Because we know that the demigods, they are very, very powerful, So this yaksha person, then he went to the demigod. He said, I want all of you to prove your energy. So I want all of you to prove your power. And then he pointed out a blade of grass on the ground. He pointed out a blade of grass. He said, now, any of you should try to blow this grass. Then the wind god, Vayu, he blow, he use all his energy, all his power. Still, he could not blow this grass. Then the Agni, the fire god came. The fire god came, he tried to burn this grass. Still, he could not do anything. Then Indra tried, he threw his weapon, his Vajra, his thunderbolt. Still, he could not do anything. Just a tiny blade of grass, this demigod, this very powerful demigod with all their power, they could not do anything to affect this grass. Because, this is the Lord's energy. So everything is possible only when the Lord manifests his energy. So everything is possible. So it's been mentioned here in this verse that Krishna telling Arjuna, you should understand that yes, all these things come from me, all the energies come from me. But people in this world, because they are so bound in bondage of material energy, bondage of illusory energy, so they don't know, they cannot understand this. But the Lord said, he said that he said that if you can understand this, if you can understand that everything is coming from me, nothing exists besides me, if you can have this understanding, then the process of liberation begins. Which means once you understand that yes, everything is coming from God, nothing exists beside him, then your path of liberation begins. That path of liberation begins. Because everything in this material world is a reflection of the spiritual world. So, and in this chapter, which we are reading, so Lord Krishna is telling Arjuna, he's describing his kingdom. Yata basese soyo na sasa kuna pavaka tagato na nivatante tadama Paramātmā. So he's telling Krishna is telling Arjuna that that place of mine, that abode of mine, there is no need of sun. There is no sun there. No need of sun, no need of moon, no moon, no sun. There, everything is self-illuminated. Spiritual is self-illuminated. And that place, Krishna tells Arjuna, if you go to that place, which means you will not come back. So the Lord said, anybody who goes to that place, once you reach there, one will not come back to this material world. Because the place is eternally full of illumination. There is no anxiety, there is no distress, there is no old age. And no one, and that place, there is no enviousness of God, because we're in this material world because all of us, we are envious of God. We want to be God, that's why we are here. We're envious of him. And this envy is due to ignorance. Due to our ignorance, we think that we can become God. So we become envious of him. Each dress is a samotena. Each dress is samotena. Don't the mohina bharata. Everyone is illusion in this material world due to each dress. The desires, duality, envy of God. So that's why we are here. But in spiritual world, no, that envy is due to ignorance. But in the spiritual world, there is no ignorance in the spiritual world. There is no darkness in the spiritual world. Everything is full of illumination. which is actually coming from the body of Krishna. And everyone is fully enlivened. Everyone is fully enlightened. So therefore, in that way, because there is no question of being envious of God, of the Lord. So you are there, you don't come back. You don't come back. That place is eternal. It's eternal place. Many places in the Bhagavad Gita, many few verses, and also in the Bhagavatam is mention of how spiritual is a place that once you reach it, you will never come down. You don't fall from the spiritual world. So the Lord is explaining here. Ya gatwana nivatante tadama paramātmā. That is my supreme abode. My supreme abode. So we can have the glimpse of this knowledge in this chapter 15 of the Bhagavad Gita. It's such a that's why it's called the yoga of the Supreme Person, the Puruṣottama yoga. The Puruṣottama yoga, the yoga of the Supreme Person. Actually, by reading this chapter constantly, a person can come to this awareness, this self-awareness. So in the previous text, the Lord said, he said, Utkramantam sitam vapi bunjanam va gunam vitam vimuda nana pashanti jnana chakṣuṣā. So the Lord is saying that the foolish cannot understand how a living entity can quit his body, nor can they understand what sort of body he enjoys under the spell of the modes of nature. But one whose eyes are trained in knowledge can see all this. So how we're in this material world, and how we have to quit this, how we have to traverse this material existence and quit this body and get another one. So a foolish person cannot understand. But a person who's in knowledge can have the understanding. So in the text 11, the Lord said the endeavoring transcendentalists who are situated in self-realization can see all this clearly. But those whose minds are not developed and who are not situated in self-realization cannot see what is taking place, though they may try to. Just like there have been so much of talk lately of people, different countries going to the moon planets. They said they are going to the moon planet, but they could only see the darkness. They could not see the moon planet. But they said they see the moon planet. So therefore there is all kinds of speculation that, we have been to this place. We have been to this place. But what did they find there? They said they've been to that place, but they only find the rock. That's all. They find some rock, and then they brought back rock. This is what they could find there. But the Krishna said, but the moon is the sustainer of life. The moon sustains life because through the light of the moon, the vegetables grow. The vegetables grow. Without the moon, there'd be no vegetables. Without the moon, the moon is the nourisher of vegetable, by which we consume as living entities in order to maintain ourselves. But the same moon that the Lord says is the nourisher of the vegetables of life, the same moon, people are saying that they've been there. They've been there, and they can only find the rock in there. So only those who are foolish can accept this kind of understanding. Only those who are foolish can accept it. Because the scripture says something totally different. The scripture says something totally different. You know, the moon planet is part of the heavenly planets. At the heavenly planet, to go there, you have to have a qualification to go to the heavenly planets. The qualification must be there. You have to have the tremendous amount of pious activities before you can go to the heavenly planet. So there was a time when Vishwamitra, he was performing austerity. He was Vishwamitra is a great sage. Brahma Rishi, great sage. So one time there was a king, his name was Sushanku, that was his name. So this king, he went to Vishwamitra and told him that I want to go to heavenly planet. Can you send me to the heavenly planet? In his same body, he wants to go to the heavenly planet. So Vishwamitra, being a very powerful mystic, very powerful rishi, he said, yes, I can do that. So Vishwamitra, and then he decided to send this king to heaven. So he was going to the heaven in his same body. And as he was going, Indra saw him coming. And Indra saw this fellow coming because he was being sent by Vishwamitra. So Indra said, this fellow, what has he done? He never performed any pious activities. So how can he come? How can he come to the heaven? So therefore Indra dispatched him, send him right back. Indra, send him right back. So this guy was he was falling from the sky. And as he was falling down, so Vishwamitra saw him coming down. So Vishwamitra, you understand that Indra is not allowing him to come to the heavenly planet. And then Vishwamitra is trying to send him back up again. So he sent him back up again, and then Indra again sent him back down again. So this fellow was going up and down, up and down. He was going up and down. So he came to a point that Vishwamitra became angry because he was a very, very powerful person. He said, okay, I'm going to create my own heavenly planet so that this fellow can go there. He said, I'm going to create my own heavenly planet. Because the sages, the powerful rishis, they can create planets. They can do that. But if he does that, then it will disturb the nature of arrangement, the universal arrangement. So an appeal was made to Vishwamitra that he cannot do that, not to do that. So to go to the heavenly planet, like the moon planet is part of the heavenly planet, the qualification is there. One has to have tremendous amount of pious activities, especially things like many sacrifices, horse sacrifice, Ashwamedha Yaga, so many things that one has to perform to go there. So how can you go to this place in some mechanical means? No, they didn't go to heaven. They didn't go to moon planet. They went somewhere else. Definitely not moon planet. Not as we understood from the scriptures. You believe that? Went to the heavenly planet? Huh? Anyway, the thing is, Christians say the splendor of the sun, the splendor of the moon, the fire, the splendor of the teja means the splendor, or the fire of the electricity. This is coming from me, and anyone who's able to understand this, such a person can really can cross over the ocean of this materialistic existence. Such a person can cross over the ocean of material, the ocean of samsara. Okay? So anyway, thank you very much for listening. I hope I was clear. So much echo is going on. So, is there any question? Anybody want to ask something? Huh? What is it? 7 o'clock? Were you able to understand? Did you understand what I was saying? A little bit? Okay. All right. Okay, thank you very much for listening. Jai Srila Prabhupada ki, Krishna Balaram ki, Gopi Menande.